up, everybody? It's your girl Nita, your favorite diva, and I am back to do a small recap or refresher on season one. And just like that. So, in order to get through this, because I'm going to be reviewing season two as it comes out, what I'm going to do is pretty much just kind of give you a refresher course of what happened. The way I'm going to do this, I'm going to start out with some elephants in the room, give you some background on it, and then let you know we're going to deep dive into episode one, but the rest of the episodes will be pretty much a summary with some commentary, of course. So, if you like what you hear and you need to know what happened for season one in order to catch you up for season two, stay tuned.
And just like that, after all the years and all the changes, you're still you. Hello, lovers.
Okay, so first of all, we have to address the elephant in the room. I have this article from Entertainment Weekly. This was published June 2nd, 2022. And I'm just going to read a little blurb. Why isn't Kim Cattrall a part of? And just like that. After years of speculation, Sarah Jessica Parker is setting the record straight on her very public rift with her former Sex and the City co-star Kim Cattrall. The actress has opened up with her side of the story, explaining in depth for the first time what really happened between the two actresses that led to their fallout, and the reason why Cattrall wasn't asked to be a part of the HBO Max revival and Just Like That, which featured almost every series regular from the original show. We did not ask her to be a part of this because she made it clear that it wasn't something she wanted to pursue, and it no longer felt comfortable for us. And it didn't occur to us, Parker explained in a new interview on the Hollywood Reporters Award Chatter podcast. That's not slamming her, it's just learning. You got to listen to somebody, and if they're publicly talking about something and it doesn't suggest it's someplace where they want to be, or a person they want to play, or an environment in which they don't want to be, you get to an age where you're just like, well, we hear that. And Just Like That dealt with the glaring absence of Cattrall's character Samantha by attributing it to a falling out between Carrie, Sarah Jessica Parker, and her friend after she told her she was no longer needed to be her publicist after Samantha moved to London. And so, yeah, so that's pretty much what it was. But then there was also some gripes about her and the other castmates as well. There were some things about her brother passing, Cattrall's brother's passing, and Sarah Jessica Parker sent her condolences via Instagram, and she didn't like that, so she called her out on it. And she was like, "You are not my family. You are not my friend. So I'm writing to tell you this one last time to stop exploiting our tragedy in order to restore your nice girl persona." So it feels like she was kind of upset about how she reached out regarding her brother's death via social media, and it just snowballed from there. She also seems to have other problems with the other girls, and I think it's only because it feels like they aren't siding with her, and maybe they're trying to be neutral, and so she's kind of taking it out on them as well. Also, the writer Michael Patrick King seems to be an issue with Kim Cattrall. So yeah, that's the elephant in the room for Samantha's presence not being there and sorely missed because she was Sex in the City. So yeah. Introducing the new Samantha per se. She injects a little of the Samantha flair that we're kind of missing. No one can actually replace her, but we're introducing you to Seema Patel, and she is played by Sarita called Hurry, and she is an Indian American actress who is playing Carrie's new friend, confidant, a new energy that has come to the friend circle, but she seems to be more attached to Carrie more so than anyone else. I really, really enjoyed her character a lot. I think they say a lot about her, a woman of her age and her lifestyle, and I'm curious to see where it goes. As I previously said, Child Hurry starts as a single self made powerhouse Manhattan real estate broker, Seema Patel. Previously said she has a friendship with Carrie. She met her through the real estate transaction of handling Big's affairs. Nicole R. Parker plays LTW, or Lisa Todd Wexley, a Park Avenue mother of three and a documentarian. And so she has a relationship with Charlotte, okay? All right. The show Yellowstone on Paramount Plus and the morning show on Apple TV Plus, actress Pittman will portray Dr. Naya Wallace, a brilliant, challenging Columbia law professor, and she has more of a relationship with Miranda. Ramirez will play a new character, Che Diaz, they, them, a non binary queer stand up comedian who hosts a podcast on which Carrie Bradshaw is regularly featured. Shay is a big presence with a big heart whose outrageous sense of humor and progressive human overview of the gender roles has made them and their podcast very popular. The season opens up with the girls meeting up. Charlotte is grilling Miranda about the gray hair, saying that she misses the red. We catch up. Everyone's doing something new and different. Carrie is doing a new podcast, and she's representing the cis het women. And she's kind of on this sex on a spectrum type of podcast where there is a cis het man, and then there is a queer person, which is her boss, Che. Okay? So Miranda quits law and went back to college. Charlotte is navigating motherhood and all that comes with that. We see Steve and Miranda. Steve is actually dealing with some hearing loss. I think it's 60% in one ear and 40% in the other. While their son Brady, a horny, disrespectful teenager who has sleepovers with his girlfriend, which he has sex with very loudly in the room right next to his parents, talking about he won't be sex shamed. If you don't get the hell out of here, Brady. Miranda goes to school and totally embarrasses herself by trying to be all woke in class and comes off as a hyperactive Karen, not trying to be one. But we do get to meet her professor. She's trying to avoid her, but Miranda keeps on trying. She leaves, but we do see that she's married and she's currently trying IVF for a family. Charlotte's buying her daughters Lily, the adopted daughter, and Rose, her biological daughter, dresses for a piano recital for Lily. Carrie's goddaughter, whom she makes feel incredibly guilty that she can't make to the recital because um, her and Big has plans. However, Charlotte fails to realize that Rose is really a tomboy, kind of for a lack of better words, right at this time. Rose tries to tell her she doesn't want to wear that. Miranda is kind of having an uptick in her drinking habits. We see her at this bar and she asks for a glass of wine. He says that they don't open until 11 a.m. And I was like, well, god damn. It ain't even 11 o'clock. Well, what they say, it's 11 o'clock somewhere. Carrie's at work at the podcast and she's kind of playing coy and shy because they are veering off into somewhat of a raunchy territory. They're talking about masturbation. They're asking her if she likes it. Has she done it in public? She's like, oh, what? Trey doesn't like that she's not engaging more and she's not being more forthcoming. You know, of course she came. She had a column called Sex in the City. So Che just told her she was like she need to step her pussy up. I was like, oh dear. Back at home, Big and Carrie are blissfully happy. The happy couple. You know what that means, right? Dun dun dun. A definite foreshadow of what's to come. Carrie's the happy housewife that comes home to a normal house with a loving husband. She's working and then she runs into the bedroom and asks him to masturbate and that she just wants to watch. Now, this is off the heels of stepping your pussy up, okay? So, the scene starts off super cringy, but it ends off playfully. At the recital, Nicole R.E. Parker, who plays LTW, affectionately called by Charlotte, her name is Lisa Todd Wexley. Her son bombs the recital. However, Lily turns it completely out, wowing the crowd and doing a phenomenal performance. Anthony and Stanford are going at it. They hate being around each other. They got married, but they are like at each other's necks. They are nitpicking, arguing all night. Stanley says he needs to stay at Carrie's place. She gives him the keys because she says she's going home because Big texted her after his Peloton session to say that they could leave for the Hamptons tonight. Oh, yeah, y'all, I meant to tell you earlier in that scene where they were blissfully happy, he was sitting over there smoking on a cigar and also eating a red steak. And you know he already had a massive heart attack and he was indulging in both of those things. And then we did the Peloton. So after the strenuous exercise routine with the Peloton, he gets off the bike and he's holding his right arm after texting Carrie that they were going to go to the Hamptons tonight. He drops the phone by accident. When he goes down to go get it, baby, he does not get back up. Big has a goddamn heart attack right on the bathroom floor trying to reach for his phone for help. Baby, Carrie comes home, water still running. She's in shock, horrified to see him sitting there. He looks up and opens his eyes, but it doesn't look like he's focusing on her or anything in particular. She hops into action after a blood curdling ear scream, John! She tries to hold and kiss him back to life, child, and he dies right in her arms. And just like that, Big died. Episode 2 starts with Brady banging the F out of his girlfriend on the other side of his mother and father's bedroom. First of all, ain't no fucking way. And second of all, his ass would be in the basement or at a hotel with all that goddamn noise. Not in my goddamn house, you not. But you know that's the difference between white parents and black parents. Steve can't even barely hear because of his hearing loss. The phone rings and Miranda's like, Steve, get the phone. He can't even hear the damn phone. He's like, who's calling on the landline this time of night? And of course, it's Carrie. So we cut to Carrie opening the door for Miranda. She gives her a big hug. Carrie asks, what does she do now? Miranda thought about it literally. And she's saying that, the coroners, they're going to come take him to the hospital. And. But she's like, no. What Carrie meant is that she spent her whole life trying to get him, got him, and now he's gone. What is she going to do now? So Carrie chooses a non-traditional venue for John's funeral. She goes to a traditional funeral home and she didn't really like the vibe. And then also too, Charlotte was crying uncontrollably because she felt guilty because she pushed Carrie to go to the funeral. Samantha sends flowers, but Carrie's thank you text goes unanswered. John's mature secretary, Gloria, becomes emotional during the service, and an old friend, Susan Sharon, makes vague references to some past feud Carrie has forgotten. Bitsy Van Mufflin, now widow, also attends. Y'all might remember her in season 6 of Sex in the City when she was trying to get pregnant. And she was older, and Charlotte was trying to get pregnant as well. That's neither here nor there. Miranda confronts Che for sharing marijuana with Brady at the reception. And she's unaware that Che is Carrie's podcast boss. Carrie is emotionally unprepared when John ashes are delivered to their condo. Miranda overcomes her awkwardness with Professor Wallace after preventing her from being mugged. And Miranda becomes increasingly dependent on alcohol. Carrie rejoins the podcast. Upon learning John left his ex wife Natasha $1 million, Carrie suspects that they were having an affair. Natasha, who never saw John after their divorce, declines the bequest, though Carrie believes John was apologizing for marrying Natasha. Stanford claims Charlotte does not consider him a part of the girl's inner circle. Charlotte seeks Anthony's advice after a 12-year-old Rose admits to not feeling like a girl. And child Anthony is like, child, she's too young. She might want to feel like a dog. Then what? So then Charlotte finds empty mini liquor bottles in Miranda's backpack. Miranda tells Charlotte that she and Steve have a sexless marriage, and she's not happy. Carrie, Charlotte, and Miranda attend Che's comedy act. Che's bit about making personal changes resonates with Miranda, who returns to the club and seeks out Che. Meanwhile, Carrie heads home, but rather to the Fifth Avenue residence, she walks to her old apartment. And that's how the episode ends. Episode 4, Some of My Best Friends, starts out when Carrie decides to sell her and John's condo. Realtor Seema Patel stages it in beige tones, further depressing Carrie. Carrie stores John's ashes at her old apartment until figuring out where he would want to be. To diversify her and Harry's social circle, Charlotte cultivates a friendship with Lisa and Herbert Wexley, a socially prominent African American couple. Miranda and Naya bond while dining out together. Naya shares her struggle to become pregnant via IVF, while Miranda reflects on some of the pros and cons of motherhood. Stanford, now a talent agent, is in Japan with his sole client, Ashley, a popular TikTok singer, touring there. Anthony says Stanford wants a divorce. We're going to take a minute to say a rest in peace to Willie Garson. He passed away December 21st, 2021, and that is right when episode 4 aired. Rest in peace. Episode 5 starts out tragically hip. Charlotte coordinates Carrie's post operative care following her hip surgery. During a Zoom meeting with her mom friend, Charlotte learns that her daughter Rose now identifies as non binary and goes by the name Rock, leaving Harry and Charlotte confused. An indignant Miranda believes Charlotte anonymously sent her a book about quitting drinking. While recuperating, Carrie does the podcast from home after inadvertently mentioning Samantha's full name during an embarrassing anecdote. Carrie texts Sam, who replies, "It's okay." Then is silent. Carrie is sleeping when Che stops by. Che and Miranda then do tequila shots in the kitchen and become sexual. Carrie awakens to see their reflections in the full-length mirror. After Che leaves, Carrie angrily confronts Miranda, who admits her life and marriage are unhappy. After discovering that she drunk ordered the book from Amazon.com, Miranda dumps out all of her liquor. 3 months later, Carrie has fully recovered. Episode 6, titled Diwali. To start anew, Carrie buys an ultra modern downtown apartment. Charlotte is dismayed when both Lily and Rock want to update their shared bedroom to reflect each other's individual taste and age. Naya recruits Miranda for a student project to renovate old apartment buildings into displaced women's shelters. Seema invites Carrie to her family's Diwali celebration. To quell her parents' constant pressure to be married, Seema falsely claims to be dating Dennis, a fictional Doctors Without Borders physician who frequently travels. Carrie accompanies Anthony for his plastic surgery consultation, then considers having work done herself. Charlotte praises Miranda for quitting drinking, but questions her about Shay, whom Miranda constantly fantasizes about. Carrie moves back into her old apartment. Episode 7, Sex and the Widow. Carrie's editor Amanda suggests adding a hopeful ending to Carrie's new book chronicling her widowhood. To that purpose, Carrie has a computer date with Peter, a handsome widower. The evening starts awkwardly. They loosen up with the alcohol and then the humiliation when both of them drunkenly vomit at the end of the date. Miranda is disappointed that her DMs to Che go unanswered. Later, her and Steve's attempt at sex quickly fizzles. Charlotte becomes overly competitive during her and Harry's tennis double match with Lisa and Herbert. After multiple failed IVF attempts, Naya and Andre agree to try conceiving naturally. Charlotte helps Lisa organize a school fundraising auction. A lunch date with Carrie is auctioned off without any bids. An embarrassed Carrie bids on herself. Then she is outbidded by Peter, her computer date, who is also a teacher at school. At the auction, Miranda runs into Che, who apologizes for missing her DMs. After that, they have sex, and Miranda tells Che that she loves her. Episode 8, Bewitched, Bothered, and Bewildered. Che, believing Miranda was in an open marriage, ends their affair. When Lily nearly walks in on Charlotte and Harry having oral sex, Charlotte awkwardly slams the door and claims that she was checking Harry for cancer, scaring Lily to get all together, worrying that her father is ill. Carrie's young downstairs neighbor, Lisette, a jewelry designer, apologizes for her loud social gatherings on the outer stoop that woke Carrie at night. Charlotte talks frankly with Lily after discovering semi provocative selfies on her Instagram. Miranda declares that she loves Che, promising to leave Steve. Che reciprocates Miranda's feelings but warns it will be a non traditional relationship. Miranda asks Steve for a divorce before flying to Cleveland to join Che. And I'm so sad. I'm so sad for Steve, you know. I'm so sad for Steve. I'm just so sad for Steve, baby. So, in the penultimate episode, episode 9, No Strings Attached, Miranda recruits Carrie and Charlotte to help out at the women's shelter. Rock resists having a bar mitzvah. Anthony brings a new friend named Justin to Charlotte and Harry's for dinner, then orders him out after he claims the Holocaust was a hoax. Lily asks Charlotte how to use tampons prior to a Hamptons pool party, And child, when I tell you Charlotte was taken aback, she was taken aback. Che and Miranda reach a mutual understanding. Carrie hopes that Steve finds love again when he says he will always feel married to Miranda. Naya and Andre reach an impasse about having children. While sitting out at the work party, Seema meets Zed, an attractive nightclub owner. Carrie, wearing both her and John wedding rings, panics after nearly losing them down John's sink drain. She later puts both rings away, then texts Peter about a redo date. And for the season finale of season one of And Just Like That, the title is Seeing the Light. Carrie and Peter's redo date ends prematurely, but platonically, neither one of them are ready to date yet. Meanwhile, Seema spends a passionate 3 days with Zed. Carrie believes John is posthumously sending her signs. Miranda declines a prestigious internship and will finish the semester remotely after agreeing to move to LA with Che, who is cast in a TV pilot there. Naya and Andre separate.
There are always going to be roads not taken.
So you can't have it all.
No, you can. It's just really hard.
Che's producer Franklin offers Carrie her own podcast. Rock refuses to participate in the They Mitzvah ceremony, claiming not to identify with any particular group, religion, gender, non gender, or anything else. A transgender rabbi agrees to officiate Rock's They Mitzvah. Charlotte, a Jewish convert who never had a bar mitzvah, takes Rock's place. Miranda leaves for LA while Brady and Louisa depart for Europe. On the 1 year anniversary, Carrie, believing John wants to be in Paris, scatters his ashes in the Seine River. She texts Samantha about the meeting up in London. Back in New York, Carrie's first Sex in the City podcast is a success. Afterwards, Carrie and Franklin share a romantic kiss. And that is where the season finale of season one ends.
Carrie, party of three?
The future is unwritten because we're all at different stages of life.
This is X, Y, and me. What about you, Carrie? Have you ever masturbated in a public place?
Not since Barney's closed.
Oh, honey, I'm home.
I remember when you kept your sweaters in the stove.
Alright, you guys, I would like to know your opinion on season one of And Just Like That, the new chapter of Sex in the City. I thought it was a much more mature take on lives. The different parenthood, marriages, rough patches, um, death, all of those things, all the things you got to think about. So I think it was one. I think it's for the grown and sexy girls. I think it might be for the girls of a particular age. I would say, they would be right at the cusp of the 45s. That might be the demographic for this. If you don't enjoy it, if it doesn't resonate, it's probably because it's outside of your your targeted demographic. So anyway, you let me know how you enjoyed it or you didn't enjoy it. If you got a rant, let it go, let it rip in here. Of course, I'm Nita, your favorite diva. Don't forget to like, comment, and share my videos. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.